Let's talk about Tesla. Now, this is something that a lot of the followers have actually asked questions about. So we had I am Smart 21 asking about Tesla and Bitcoin. And on Twitter, we had a few followers actually asking about the whole crypto situation. It seems like that's something that's very interesting to a lot of people. We've got Asif asking about cryptocurrency. We've also got Dawood asking about cryptocurrency. This is a big, big topic. Now, Tesla obviously made a big move and bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. That sent the price of Bitcoin, the value of Bitcoin, surging to around $46,000. I think it is.
It is currently 47,000
47. So it's like
plus.
17 to 20% increase, right? It's a pretty big increase of value, and obviously when you've got a company like Tesla and the name of Elon Musk kind of backing this currency, it's obviously going to have an impact. Not only that, Tesla has also said that they will soon be accepting Bitcoin as payment for Teslas. That now also normalizes Bitcoin a lot more because, of course, Bitcoin has been used as a payment method for a long time, but mainstream, not everybody accepts it. Now,
Yeah.
a car company like Tesla accepting Bitcoin again solidifies the confidence in Bitcoin that now you can go out and you can actually buy a Tesla with Bitcoin. So there's a few things I want to talk about here.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, Bitcoin itself, right? How it just kind of went from nothing to now being this huge force, but also the confidence people having in Bitcoin, especially after the whole GameStop crisis, and how much people are now not confident with Wall Street, the dollar, the pound, just general currency, how people are just not confident with those, the traditional form of currency and cash, right?
Yeah.
And this obviously this move and how that impacts it. So, being the finance man, being the money man, what are your initial thoughts on this?
All right. So first off, I want to say that I do not give financial advice. This is not in any way financial advice. I'm just telling you what I think, and also I'll tell you some of the things that I've done as well.
Okay. So
Just to,
disclaimer. I mean, he's given disclaimer. Of course, we always, whenever we talk about finance and stuff, we are not financial experts. We are just two guys on YouTube talking on podcasts, just talking about this stuff. It's purely taken as infotainment. Do not go out and say because Ian Saf said I went and spent all my money on bitcoins. Now it's all gone. Okay,
no,
that's the disclaimer out the way there. Back over to you, E.
Yeah, so with Bitcoin, I think what we've seen is, and I've kind of noticed it, but even I myself have been slow to get into the Bitcoin market. I finally bought Bitcoin today. I will honestly admit it. Some Bitcoin, parts of it Bitcoin. You can buy parts of Bitcoin. You can buy the whole thing if you can afford it. But a lot of people, I think, are hedging the market. And again, you talked about lack of confidence, and there's also a lot of cash flowing around in terms of investor cash flowing around. And because of the way Bitcoin is right now, where there's a limited supply of Bitcoin, it feels like gold. A lot of you probably hear a lot of comparisons to gold, and I kind of look at Bitcoin that way. I think it's the gold of this generation. The digital generation is looking at it as their digital gold. That's the most simplistic way I'll put it. There's a lot of things to go around it. The reason I say this is because, the last month or so, I've gone in a bunch of clubhouse rooms, listening to people who are in crypto, and their mindset and the way the cryptocurrency works is so different from the regular financial markets. It almost sometimes seems like they cannot coexist, although they can, because there's more freedom, there's more transparency, and it's you controlling your money. That's one of the things about it. So it's not easy. Think about it this way. You can't go anywhere right now to just go buy a bar of gold. Even if you had the money, there are certain processes you must take. to buy a bar of gold.
So you just need to go to Colonel Singala and he will deal direct bars of gold to you.
I'll just let you know that it might be painted. But if you look at Bitcoin, you can open up a Coinbase account, transfer your money, and buy.
Boom.
Like
Easy
I can
as
buy. So if I had the money with crypto, I can buy it today. They've really made it that easy, especially Bitcoin, as opposed to gold. I would have to go to a bank. I would have to pay fees. I might have to do certain things. I don't even know the process myself. Honestly, I don't. So it's that difference right there. The other thing too is a lot of companies have been hedging. So Tesla making this big jump is something that another company which I bought into this year, and I was really sad at myself because I should have bought their stock last year. It's called MicroStrategy. They are a tech company. They have a good business, but at some point last year, I believe, or the year before, they decided to take all their cash and buy Bitcoin and basically say, because in their minds, everybody has been talking at least for the last year or two that Bitcoin will reach 100,000, right? There's been that chatter, right? So the thinking was, if we have cash, even if we put it in a bank, we probably might get an 8% interest. But if we drop it in Bitcoin, we could get more than that, but by far, right? So they've done that, and I think Tesla looked at this and said, like, Tesla is a company that's in a very funny predicament. Their valuation is higher than what the company is worth. I own Tesla stock. I look at the balance sheets, I look at what they're doing, and I go, I like the company, but I don't think it's this valued. To me, the fundamentals don't meet. So I think they're doing this as a way, as one, to edge those fundamentals. No, I mean, just on a pure basis of how many cars they are producing as opposed to their competition.
I mean, Elon himself said that Tesla stock is overvalued.
Exactly.
I'm sure he tweeted something out, right? And then it had a slight hit on the share price, but then he just carried on growing again.
So now, put it this way now. When you're buying Tesla stock, now the stock is not just the stock, it also has Bitcoin. So it's got two things that are now adding extra value to it as well. It's not just so as a company now, they have two sources of revenue, one car and one is Bitcoin. Literally just like that, because the value will keep going up.
Keep going up.
Keeping on, right? So when Tesla, here's the thing that some people won't realize, since I own Tesla and I own MicroStrategy, I bought MicroStrategy when it was about $500 this month. It's been slowly rising up. When Tesla bought it, it went from $900, which was Tesla bought Bitcoin yesterday or the day before, right? Monday. Yeah. They bought it on Monday. It was about 900 and something. MicroStrategy is now $1,200 per share.
Whew. So that's going up from 500 last month to...
Yeah, exactly. This is solely not because they've put out any crazy numbers. It's because they have I think they still have more Bitcoin than Tesla, but they took all their available cash and bought Bitcoin. So people are going, these guys have more Bitcoin than Tesla. Maybe we should invest in them. So it's driving the stock. But again, the idea of Tesla owning Bitcoin has now changed the market. And with Tesla also accepting Bitcoin for vehicles, it means that, one of the things that it does is the simplicity of Bitcoin or crypto is that now it's hard to mine Bitcoin, but just if you think of it, the idea is like I could stay at home, mine my Bitcoin, get one Bitcoin, and eventually just walk down the street and go to Tesla and say, here's my coin. I mean, not like you're physically giving it to them, but it's the one thing that you made yourself by mining. Now, granted, that's not the case anymore, but the ability to just take the Bitcoin and transfer it. There's a YouTuber that I watch who does, I've forgotten his name, Andre. He does financial advice and magic tricks, really cool stuff. And he made a video yesterday, and he's like, man, Tesla bought Bitcoin. He predicted it last year. But he goes like, finally, I can buy a Tesla. Not because he didn't have the money, but he's like, now I can just use my Bitcoin and buy a Tesla. That's his thinking. And even today, one of my buddies, Warren, was like, his portfolio in crypto went up, and he's like, and I was like, you buying Tesla? Are you buying some more Bitcoin? He's like, I don't know. This again, that's what he's doing for regular people. But the thing is, it's a very interesting and dynamic world that I will always advise everyone: do your homework, study before you even think of jumping in. because it's not as straightforward as some people would describe. It's something that you have to understand what the fundamentals are, at least to what you're buying with anything you buy, whether it's stock, whether it's crypto. Why is that crypto going up? And there's so many things to it that actually add a lot.
Yeah, I think right now there is the whole retail investor craze, and seeing the whole GameStop situation and Tesla buying Bitcoin. It's very easy to kind of get roped in and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to put some money on this. And remember, you can always lose money. I personally don't, I still haven't invested in anything because it's just way over my head. And even from somebody like me, so it's like, I'm still not at a point where I'm confident enough to start putting money down for these things, even though I've got, E for advice if I need. So be very careful there. What's interesting for me now is obviously by Tesla and Elon Musk making this big, bold move, what are other companies going to do? Is this now going to have a domino effect like your friend Andre is his name that was saying in his video?
Yeah.
Is this going to have a domino effect where companies are going to see, because we've already seen rumors that Apple is going to buy like 2.7 billion worth of Bitcoins. There's rumors floating about that.
Yeah, I don't think that will happen with Apple. I mean, it's nice. I think a lot of that is speculation driven, because a lot of so right now what's happening in the crypto world is you're looking at Bitcoin futures. So there's a futures market where there's a prediction of where the price would be, and basically you basically bet on that. There's a futures futures have always been good with commodities. So, for instance, futures market for orange fruit. And it's very good because you can actually do the calculation of how many farmers are farming orange, what's the weather like this time of the year, and do you think we will get this kind of yield? So that's what it was always for. Bitcoin futures, I don't know how with crypto will work, because then again, it's different, but it's the cascading effect that Andre was talking about, where because one player like Tesla jumps in, then it'll be easier for the next player, because other CEOs will look at it and go, one of the best calculations is this, even though the stock price has kind of dropped down again. When Tesla bought Bitcoin for $1.5 billion, Tesla's stock went up from 840 to about 860 or so, which gave them roughly $2 billion in value. So basically what they spent has been already recovered in some value. Okay. Right now, the stock has dropped back down to 840, just reflecting, almost like the market is reflecting the cost that they've spent, right? But it means that now the market is waiting for that value to go up. Now that Bitcoin prices is going up, then that value should come back again. So what's going to happen is you're going to see other CEOs looking at it and go, okay. Now, why a lot of people are talking about Apple is because Apple has... between Apple, Microsoft, and I'll say Google, they have the most amount of liquid cash to spend. And I think what's probably going on in the conversation is, what are the tax ramifications? This is the most important thing for firms. They don't care about anything else, is what are the tax ramifications, and how does this help us by, if we put our money in crypto, do we pay less, and can we draw it out from any different country? And say, for instance, if we buy crypto from US and we draw it out in Ireland, where, for instance, like I know Apple and Microsoft have like no taxes over there, and then we pay no taxes for that money, right?
I used to always, just side note, I used to always wonder, when I started getting AdSense money, right, and I'd get a check, I used to always wonder why it was from Google Island. So, obviously I was just a kid, and I was like, I wonder why they're doing it from Ireland. Why don't they just have it from the UK? And then it all made sense. It's like, obviously they don't want to pay any bloody tax.
Yeah. So that's the thing. And I think that's what you're probably seeing right now. And once that happens, you're going to see companies, honestly, if Apple jumped in and bought 2.5 billion, which is still, obviously, probably them, that would be about 5 to 10% of the liquid cash value, or even probably less. I'm not exactly sure how much cash they have right now, but if they did the same amount as Tesla, like 1.5 or 2 billion or 2.5, Bitcoin would probably
to the moon.
Would probably hit 60
all the way to the
in
moon.
no time. But here's the big part that I think a lot of people don't realize. Bitcoin is the big sexy crypto that everyone talks about. Ethereum is the crypto that runs everything. So there's so many different coins out there, and all those coins are either an offshoot or basis, or they use part of Ethereum to run it. When you're going through non-Bitcoin exchanges, so non-exchanges are basically your standard exchanges are like Coinbase. It's almost like a standard clearinghouse where you can do all your transactions and stuff. The standard Bitcoin exchanges, which are like for smaller cryptos and things that haven't reached a certain status yet, for you to do those transactions, you use Ethereum to do those transactions. So Ethereum is what runs the world of crypto. I always equate it to like Ethereum is like the dollar. I'm not saying its value is higher than the dollar. I think Ethereum right now is $1,700 to one Ethereum coin, but it's the backbone of crypto right now, the way I see it. So that's the one. Once if Tesla does Bitcoin first and then they do Ethereum, it is. I think at that point you're going to now start seeing the gold rush where everybody goes like, "Whoa, I can get into this," And I think we're in that precipice where a lot of people, even if you don't buy crypto, right? Even if you're not buying crypto, I would suggest to you go and learn about the crypto market, understand the basics. Honestly, Bitcoin and Ethereum is the best places to start. Just understand the basis of how they work, what they work, what's a crypto wallet, all those kind of things, because eventually we're going to have a situation where we're hearing things like China is trying to build their own crypto because they want to supersede the dollar. Now they've tried different things by having two different currencies in China. There's a local currency and then there's like external currency. So with crypto, they feel like they can jump ahead. So having an understanding of what that means for you, how to buy. And China's already ready there, where there's no there's very limited amount of cash payments in China. Everything is traceable. It's all digital.
It's all done through apps. As in, I read an article where I believe because of the whole COVID situation and cash now becoming less and less popular. Where I live, most restaurants only accept cash. Well, they used to only accept cash because, I wonder why the card machine has been broken for 5 years. But I believe like the stats here in the UK, I don't know, it's something like 3 in 5 transactions are made via cash, whereas in China it's 1 in every 5. So already the non-cash transactions through like the likes of WeChat, etc., are much more prominent compared to actual cash. So a lot of people just don't use actual cash.
See, remember when Facebook was trying to make their crypto years ago? This was about 4 years ago, and this fell down for 2 reasons. One was the whole Facebook fiasco with the elections and all that stuff in the US. I think it's like 4 or 5 years ago. And then also the fact that Facebook didn't have their image started just going downhill. And I look at it now and went like, Facebook had the greatest opportunity to rule the world and they failed. Because what would have happened is if they created their own crypto, they would have tokenized their crypto to users, right? And then you start using that to trade with other companies, and before you know it, you will have a Facebook account with like Facebook coin, FB coin, or whatever you want to call it, right? And then you can use FB coin to buy on the Play Store, and Facebook will now tell you that they're paying for your content by paying you through FB coin, which costs them nothing, but has value for you to go and buy apps and things like that.
Well, they messed up there. This is super interesting, the whole Bitcoin situation. If you asked me a few years ago, I was like, it's this way. But now you can see that it's seriously becoming a real player, and especially with how the market's going and how a lot of people are no longer confident in actual cash, and how a lot of these bankers keep messing up and keep getting bailed out, and the value of the cash just keeps dropping, right? And it's just like, okay, now you need something that's independent, and something like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies really come in. Do you think Bitcoin is just going to keep on rising? Is there going to be a dip soon, do you think? Again, this is not advice, guys. I just want to clarify again. We're just kind of speculating.
I was chatting with Warren today, and we're talking about that, and Warren was like, I'm waiting for Tesla to take a hit. I'm like, yeah, it will come for the stock, but I think them buying Bitcoin hedges that off. But I think in terms of Bitcoin itself, it's gonna go. There's gonna be little dips, rises, dips, and rises. I think the crash will come at 100K. I think we'll have a pause around between 60 to 65K, where it's going to stabilize for like a good part of the year, and people are like, okay, Bitcoin is now $65,000 or whatever the means, and then we'll see a rush at some other point in time where it rises up. And my own at least mental prediction is that once it gets close to 100. I think it's going to crash at that point. I think it's just going to crash and then bounce out. And I think it will probably rest around like 60, 70,000. You're going to get a rise and just a huge dip. Because crypto, you see dips like that. And that's the one thing that Warren taught me with crypto. He's just said, you're going to see crashes. Just don't pay attention. This is not the stock market where you've just gone because it's based on a company, right? And you're like, I don't think that company can come back. The crypto market is a little bit different because it has nothing to do with those kind of physical things.
It'll be fun if we kind of look back at this and kind of we'll look back at this clip of your predictions and see how things have actually gone. Right, so we'll look back at this in a year. Hey, it's just predictions. I'm just saying. And then if you get it spot on, then everybody's gonna be like, you're gonna start a new channel.
Singala Finance.
Singala Finance. New channel's gonna be up and coming, and everybody's gonna be coming for Singala advice. But yeah,
Singala only takes Bitcoin, by the way.
Only Bitcoin. Yeah, the gold bars is all news now. But yeah, very interesting, and we'll be keeping up to date, and we'll see where all of this goes. I hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to hear the full podcast episode, then that will be linked down below. And if you want to see more clips like this, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss them. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf Speaks, and I'll see you next time.